Welcome to a new episode of Sportscast Jersey. Today we are joined by Lauren Lowe of Jersey Rugby Club Women.
So I was the only consistent girl in my age group from, 6 to 12, 13 years old. I've really tried to encourage all the rugby girls to come play touch, as it just keeps their skills and fitness up over the summer as well. I've been to a World Cup. I've played against Australia, New Zealand. The next World Cup for touch is next year, so we're going to hope to send a team. It was a very cold, wet, windy day, and I played 13 that game. It's great to just captain the girls, be their voice of reasons at times, and just encourage them to try to play the best rugby that they can is phenomenal. With sport, you're training with your teammates twice a week, and then you have games on the weekend. You're probably seeing them a lot more than you're seeing, your friendships from outside sport, your family at times. So you really do get to know these group of people who, as you said, you wouldn't normally meet. And the bond that you develop when you all have that same goal is fantastic.
Welcome to a new episode of Sportscast Jersey. Today we are joined by Lauren Lowe of Jersey Rugby Club Women. How are you doing, Lauren?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Dan. I'm a little bit sore. We did have a game yesterday, so Luckily I've had the day off and I've managed to have a slow morning, lots of rest.
Yeah, I saw the game. It was a close game, wasn't it?
Really close. And considering they were top of the league, I thought the girls put on a massive performance.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be a tough game.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, for sure. We'll go into the question straight away, and as always with my podcast, I always ask, have you always been sporty? Is the first question. So, have you always been sporty, Lauren?
I think, like most your answers, the answer is definitely yes. From a young age, I was always so super competitive. I think much to my mum's annoyance at times, I was very stubborn. I like to win a lot. So yeah, I've always been sporty, and that's, from school, I've always participated in every sport that I could. Netball, hockey, football, rugby when I could back at school. I was playing with the year 7 boys when they let me. So yeah, literally any sport that I could have done, I've tried.
Yeah. What was that like back then? Obviously, we're here to talk about rugby, of course. What was that like playing with the boys?
Yeah, so I started my journey with rugby when I was only 6 years old. I was pretty much the only girl. There was a couple of girls that always came and joined, but none really stuck around. So I was the only consistent girl in my age group from, 6 to 12, 13 years old. And yeah, I guess I was always sort of seen as the sister of the group. But the boys were fab. They never treated me any differently. I was, on par with playing with them, very much an equal in that age group. I was really fortunate. And it was really tough when I had to stop when I was 12, because obviously they stop allowing you to play together. So I sort of had to find my own ways for a few years until I started at adults women's rugby.
Yeah, for sure. I want to touch on touch rugby first before we go into rugby. When did you start playing touch rugby? Obviously, you played it for a lot of years now. When did that start?
Yeah, so we always sort of participated as kids in the Dads and Lags Touch Rugby League, which was fantastic. But touch rugby was my sort of solution when I could no longer play with the boys when I was 12. So I picked up playing touch rugby for the island, and I was competing at quite high levels with the adults in their tournaments, which was fantastic because it just kept up, my skills and my rugby ability, the passing, the speed, the agility. And I love both sports. I play both. One's, more a winter sport, and when that stops, come May post Siam, I pick up touch more so in the summer. And still compete. I competed at the Euros last year. We're hoping to send another team to the European Touch Championships this year. So I've really try to encourage all the rugby girls to come play touch, as it just keeps their skills and fitness up over the summer as well.
Yeah, and talk to us about those tournaments. Obviously, they sound really impressive, and it sounds like an amazing experience.
It's an amazing week. So there's so many different age groups for Jersey. We've always competed in the mixed open, so that's sort of men and women playing in the same team. So it's a really diverse sport. The fact that you're allowing that equality across the same level. But these tournaments, we're playing against some of the top teams in the world. I've been to a World Cup. I've played against Australia, New Zealand. The next World Cup for touch is next year, so we're going to hope to send a team. And just thinking of the small island of Jersey competing against these teams is amazing. I've met a lot of people all over the world from it, and it's just a brilliant sport. We play touch five days, 3 to 4 games each day, and it's exhausting. You come back absolutely knackered, but it's worth every minute.
Yeah, what would you, for people who might not know, what would you say are like the main differences between rugby and touch rugby?
I think with touch, because there's no contact, it takes away that sort of scary element. Obviously it's a really quick, fast sport. It's a lot faster than rugby, and it's arguably more technical. So a lot of rugby players that come to touch don't always succeed because they can't quite grasp the fact, that you can't just carry into contact. So you just have to be a bit more open-minded coming into it, and you're going to have people try run around you, not through you, basically.
Yeah, amazing. And last bit on touch, I guess, is if people want to get involved, how can they?
Yeah, they absolutely come and get involved. There's a Jersey Touch community. We're on Facebook, we're on WhatsApp, Facebook, social media, Instagram. Just come. We have training sessions on Monday evenings up at the Kennedy playing fields, 7 till 8:30, and it's really open. There's mixed abilities there. We're trying to encourage more beginners to come up, and even for companies, there's going to be a corporate summer league in the summer coming up, starting from May. So it'll be great to get as many people involved.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. Right. Going back to rugby, when did you get back involved and play senior rugby?
So when I was 17 was when I could start training with the women's side.
Yeah.
We were already part of Jersey Rugby Club then. We were Jersey ladies. And yeah, I started when I was 17. When I turned 18, I could finally play my first rugby game in however many years. And that feeling was just incredible, getting back into it. And I do remember it. It was a very cold, wet, windy day.
Yeah.
And I started, I played 13 that game, which was a new position for me because growing up, I was always sort of scrum half. And then obviously now I've played fly half. So I have played a few positions on the pitch as well.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite or even your best position?
Oh, that's a tough one. I haven't played scrum half in a very long time, but that was my bread and butter growing up. Fly half is a position that I do love, and I've really I've developed as a player in it, and I've grown to love it. But I do see myself in the centres at times. I think coming up, the coaches are wanting to try shape things up a little bit, so you could see me playing there, either 12 or 13. We're not quite sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Obviously you're captain of the current team. Um, how has this season gone for you guys, and how much you're enjoying captaining the side as well?
Yeah, so our season has been phenomenal so far. I was just having a quick look at how, the progress that we've made from last season. We finished fourth in the league last season, which we were actually disappointed with. We hoped to place a little bit higher, and then this season it looks like we're going to place second. We've obviously got one more game to finish with, but it looks like that's where we'll place, which is fantastic. Considering where we were all those years ago, struggling to make a team, playing 12-a-side matches. So to finish second in the league and, put on the performance that we did against the top of the league, Horsham, yesterday, I think the girls have had a phenomenal season so far, and I'm so proud. And to captain this team, I've been captain for 5 or 6 years now. We were trying to work out. It's great to just captain the girls, be their voice of reasons at times, and just encourage them to try play the best rugby that they can is phenomenal. It's such a great group of women that come up and play, so diverse. We've got people, who are mothers. We've got all working backgrounds, and the fact that everyone has this goal to just play the best rugby they can is amazing.
Yeah, sure. And obviously, you say you've been 5, 6 years captain. How good has it been to see the development of the team, the development of individuals who might have just started as a social side, and then they've started to really enjoy caught the bug and really improve? How's that been?
It's been great because obviously, fortunately for me, I've played rugby growing up. A lot of these women are joining rugby, um, in their 20s or even in their 30s. We've had women join. They've joined after they've had children, and like to join a new sport, I think that's a massive credit to them because they don't know the rules. They're learning completely new skills, new rules. It's a very complicated game. So to see these players come really thrive and develop, and they're starting each game as well
Yeah,
is great. And if I look at the core group of players we have now compared to where we were all those few years ago, selection's getting more and more difficult. I really do not envy the coaches trying to select a Siam squad.
yeah. And let's talk about Simon as well and the other
Oh.
coaches involved. Obviously, a few players from the Reds get involved as well. How good is that to have those guys on board?
I think it's fantastic. The coaches, if I start with sort of Simon and James, who have been with us the last couple of years, they're really, really passionate, and they've taken the women's coaching on board, and they give it 100%. They come to all our training sessions. They put in so much of their time, and we really do not give them enough credit. They are fantastic, and without them, I don't think we would have developed as far as we have. And they're great endeavours for women in sport, and they're always encouraging. So without them, we would definitely not be placing where we are in the league. And we obviously won the first Siam Cup last year, and that's that for them was just amazing as well.
Yeah,
And then just having the Reds players come along just adds that extra bit of knowledge and extra bit of breadth to us. They're able to coach. Obviously, they can't coach the same ability. We're not there, but they're able to style the training to what they think we need. And they come to our away games. They come watch all our games, which is fantastic because they put into it as much as they want to as well.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's great to see just how far they've helped you. And I was speaking to Miles on the podcast the other day, and he finished off by saying, when we were talking about the Simon, how much it's developed, it's actually scary the progress you guys are making.
Mm.
So it's great to hear people like Miles give you that credit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miles has been there to support us all through it as well. So I think we as a team are so fortunate with the support that we get from the rugby club. They back us. Obviously, we split from the Jersey Reds. We're now our sole Jersey Rugby Club amateur side of rugby. And the support we receive is fantastic, even from our sponsors as well. We're so lucky. We've had new sponsors come on this season, and we've provided new kit, and they're trying to really take us even further with our rugby and sort of see how far we can go.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, like other teams in Jersey as well, you got to play away games and home games. How good are the away games, and how do you enjoy the traveling side of things?
I think there's a massive difference between home and away games. Everyone loves home games. Obviously it's great having that family support, friends and family support, the support from the sponsors, and just general people who want to come and show their support for women's rugby. And then obviously traveling away, it's just a different story. Playing all the teams that come to Jersey on their away games, they say they don't know how we do it for half the season because that one game they're always so knackered for when they come to see us. But then obviously our argument is, well, this is what we're used to. We've had to do it. If we want to play rugby, we have to go off and travel. And then the away games, I've personally, and I think a lot of the girls find this as well, is that I really enjoy them. I think it's because, that's your time. As for 12 hours, you are traveling together as a team. It's your time to bond, talk through things you don't understand. You get your best stories from away games, even sometimes if there's an overnight social included. So yeah, I think, you know, sometimes whilst the traveling is tiring, you get on with it because you love it and you just want to go play as much rugby as possible.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it, it probably helped the social life, but how good is the social side of it all? And you were speaking before, you're probably meeting people who you wouldn't meet usually just through rugby. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, it really, really is. I mean, you know, with with sport, you're training with your you know your teammates twice a week, and then you have games on the weekend. You're probably seeing them a lot more than you're seeing, you know, your friendships from outside sport, your family at times. So you really do get to know these group of people who, as you said, you wouldn't normally meet. And the bond that you develop when you all have that same goal is fantastic. And you know, you all become sort of this big family. You know, with those with children, you become almost aunties because you know we're taking kids away with us on our away games, which is
Yeah,
fantastic. So we're babysitters as well. So that I think what I can only say is to encourage people to come up if you are just wanting that social side, in terms of like, you know, meeting up outside of rugby. We also do that. We are teammates, but we're also friends as well.
yeah.
So you know, you get really close just because you're spending so much time. So you know, we do have our socials that we go out, we have a good time, and yeah, just really enjoy spending that time together as a team.
Yeah, definitely. One of those nights you had a good night was the ITV Awards. I was there as well. Well, firstly, how good was the night, and how good was it to be nominated for Team of the Year?
To have that nomination for, you know, sports team of the year for the Channel Islands was amazing. It was actually a goal that we set out the previous year.
Yeah,
So yeah, we all sat down and I sort of led a presentation with the coaches, you know, saying, you know, if we can do this, this, and this, we might be able to achieve sports team of the year.
yeah,
So to even have that nomination and sort of the recognition that, you know, we are a team, you know, worthy of possibly having that award. Obviously, we weren't lucky on the night, but we were up against some really strong candidates as well.
yeah,
But you know, we definitely went. We showed our faces. It was so nice to get all dressed up out of the rugby kit in the mud,
yeah.
for a black tie event all looking very glamorous. And then we did celebrate like we won in our
Yeah,
so yeah, it was amazing, and yeah, as I said, just to get that recognition was great.
yeah, definitely. And it was much deserved. And one of the main reasons I'd say that you got that award is the Siam win last year.
I think so.
Just talk us through that day and how special that was for all of you.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think with the Siam Cup, it's just different to any other league game that we play. A lot of the girls that do play, you know, are from Jersey, so there's always that competitive element between, you know, playing a Guernsey side. But then we also have some girls, you know, who have travelled over to work in Jersey, and then they get just as involved as if they've lived here all their life when they play the Siam. So the atmosphere is incredible. Playing that one in Jersey last year, in early May, was just next level. You know, we trained hard for it. We trained super hard. We knew our game plan. And when it came to the day, it was just, you know, as soon as the girls arrived to the ground, you could sense that there was just this goal in mind.
Yeah,
The warm up that we had was the best warm up that we've ever done. All the girls were so super switched on and focused. You know, no drop balls. They all knew what we had to do to win that game. And then, you know, running out on the pitch with the home crowd. You know, I've never seen the women's side have a crowd that big. Just made it all so much more special. And the noise whilst you were playing, every time it went our way, you could hear these cheers from the crowd. Yeah, it was phenomenal. And then to put 40-0 past Guernsey, was amazing. You know, every game that I've played, when I first started playing, we were big scores. You know, Guernsey were putting 60 points past us, and the score has just have narrowly got smaller over the years. So that's why that score was just amazing. And each girl played out of their skin. Nothing was left on the pitch that day, which sadly I think was our downfall for the week after, when unfortunately we lost. I think we put all our bodies on the line so much that was the case. But yeah, that day was incredible, and to captain that side is, you know, my favourite sporting moment, and I think it'd be hard to ever top that, really.
Yeah, for sure. And with that home crowd, what were the nerves like? Was it excitement, or was it nerves, or was it a good mix?
I think, you know, for me it was a good mix. I think with Simon, because of how important it is, I always feel that little bit nervous in the morning when I wake up, but excited because I knew we had a real shot of winning last year with like the team that we had put out. And I think a lot of the girls felt it too. There was a lot of, you know, nerves in the changing rooms when we first arrived. But as I said, as soon as we started warming up, it was like those nerves suddenly went, and it was that itch and that hunger to win that game.
Yeah, for sure. And for you personally, what's it like to represent Jersey on a weekly basis, basically, as well?
Yeah, I think that with being the only women's side over here, we are the only people representing women's rugby. So for me, every time I put on the shirt, I say to girls in the changing room, you know, be proud to wear this shirt, because we've worked hard to be a team that, you know, gets to go out and play, you know, pretty much twice a month. It's really something special, and you know, the girls are working so hard, earning their names on the shirt. And I think, you know, you'll get the same at Siam. Wearing to be in that Siam squad will be really special.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Simon. Obviously, it's coming up in a month, or just over a month's time. How excited are you for that? And obviously, it's going to be a big month of preparation. How excited is the team, and for another home Siam?
Oh, I'm so pleased it's home this year. So pleased. Yeah, to have another home Siam, and just to hear, you know, tables are selling out, sponsors are all going to be there, you know, get your family and friends up. You just know that atmosphere is going to be incredible the moment you walk in. But within the team, you know, you can definitely sense that Siam is coming around the corner. The team that we played against yesterday, that was what we were sort of treating as our pre-Siam prep, almost, because we knew they were going to be a big, physical, strong team, which Guernsey are. You know, Guernsey do play a league above us, so we have to step up. We have to be showing that we can compete. So our training will definitely be fine-tuned to what we can improve and to how we think Guernsey will be playing. You know, we're lucky that we've got the VO footage, that, you know, we can watch our games back. We can see what we need to improve on altogether. I think, you know, for training tomorrow night, because there's sore bodies, all the girls will be having a video analysis session, which will be great. So, you know, we know exactly over the next month what we need to work on.
Yeah, for sure. And how good is it to have it at this level, that video, and then you've got Strive to train at? So it's just top quality training opportunities. How good is that?
Yeah, amazing. And this is what I mean about how, you know, as a women's rugby team, we have so much support, and, you know, the facilities and the access we get is amazing. Having Strive just across the corner, training there once a week. We have one of the first team Reds coaches keep teaching us with that, and, you know, trying to make it as rugby specific for us as possible. Access to the camera, you know, the first thing I do when I finish playing is I'll get home the same night to watch the game. So yeah, and it just adds another dimension to the sport, and, you know, to watch how you play back is amazing. Just to pick up on what, you know, what you've done well and what you need to work on.
Yeah, definitely. For those who don't know, when is the Siam, and how can they come and support?
So the Siam is coming up very, very, very soon, as we said, just over a month's time. Saturday the 6th of May, off the top of my head. I think the rugby club is still yet to release the timings of the day, as there's going to be 4 games on this year. So it just depends where's best for the teams to play. So I think you pay £10 or £15 for the whole day. You get to watch 4 amazing game, 4 amazing games of competitive rugby. And then, make sure you're here to watch us as well.
Yeah, I went last year and the whole day was amazing. So I wouldn't, I would just go buy that ticket now. It's just amazing day.
Yeah, put it in the calendar.
Yeah, yeah. Final kind of questions. Firstly, what are your goals? How far, how much longer, and where do you want to go with your rugby?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. So for my goals, I would love to play to a higher standard of rugby. And we're currently in the National Challenge Southeast two. So we're still technically a development league, and I definitely think there's scope for us to progress with that. At the moment, I'm on island. If I ever were to go off island, I think that would obviously open up a bit more opportunity to see sort of what level I could play to.
Yeah.
And also with the touch as well, I'm lucky with that. I have both. So if I travelled further abroad, touch is massive in Australia or something like that. So at least I can play both. I've always said that I'd love to give sevens a go.
Yeah.
As I think that's a perfect balance of playing 15s and touch rugby. We as a team are off to Bournemouth sevens later this year, actually at the end of next month. So I'll sort of see how I find playing sevens then.
Yeah.
And then sort of see maybe, is there any other teams that I could look to get involved in there? And then goals as a team, we're definitely in discussions as to whether, are we there to finally progress out the league that we're in? Whilst I know we didn't win the league, I think our standard has progressed so much that we've got potential to play against better teams. It might mean that we don't win all our games this season, but if we're playing to a better standard of rugby, that would improve us as players.
Yeah.
And it would challenge us more and would play better rugby.
Yeah, for sure. One last question. You might have touched on it already. Putting you on the spot a bit here. What's your favourite rugby memory today?
Rugby memory. That's a tough one. I think I'm always torn between saying it was my first ever Siam Cup start as an adult, because I was only 19 and playing back then. But I just think back to that moment last year and in captaining that winning side, just playing the standard that we did with the team that was so amazing to play alongside with. The girls busted a gut that day and left everything on the field, and then lifting up that trophy in front of a home crowd. I was in tears after. It meant that much, and I was just so proud of my team for what we achieved. So I think that, as I said, that would be really hard to ever top that memory.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Lauren, that's all the questions from me. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been brilliant talking.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Good luck in the Siam.
Thank you. It's needed, but yeah, it'll be good to see you up there supporting, and everyone else who comes up as well.
Yeah, good stuff. That was another episode of Sportscast Jersey. Thank you for listening and watching. Another episode is coming soon.